to them, the Tea Party movement. Republicans spent too much money when they held power in Washington. They did. And I say that having helped elect in my past life as a campaign consultant, many of them. They spent too much money. They lost their way. They had some scandals that were tarnishing to their brand. And I think they're having to earn the trust back of a lot of grassroots Americans. Other questions?
Ja, neste spørsmål er fra Einar Stenersen, FPU, deretter Ketil Solvik-Olsen.
Hey, nice to meet you too. Yeah. Hi, my name is Einar Stenersen, and I'm from the Progress Party's youth. First of all, I would like to thank you for a great speech. It is so nice for us to have you here and learn more about your movement. It is such an honor and it's very inspiring, so thank you. It is actually two things that I would like to talk about here, and I have two questions to ask. First of all, I want to ask you, how do you think we should respond to political attacks, especially when they are personal in nature? And the second thing is, in your organization, does the activists in the campaigns use social media like Facebook and Twitter and blogs? That would be excellent and very interesting to hear more about. So thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it's important in politics to know that when the other side is attacking you personally, when they're saying you're astroturf, you're evil mongers, I guess that's one. It is from a position of weakness that they make those attacks. A confident opponent in politics, they don't need to make personal attacks. They simply stand on their ideas, and those ideas, along with superior organization, carry the day. It's from a position of weakness that you're forced to launch these cheap, personal, kind of mudslinging attacks. Kind of like we saw this week from some folks on the left here in Norway. So that's the most important thing to know. When they're attacking you personally, it's because they don't know a better alternative. And so the best way to respond is with a smile that says, look, I know you desperately want to avoid talking about your ideas and how you're failing the country, but you can't. So you're going to have to get away from these cheap attacks, and we're going to discuss why you're failing the country. And with social networking and the internet, it's been a long way back. On the conservative or on the free market side, we were complacent. And I will give the left credit for this. Their ideas may be for government, may be old school, big government, collectivist, liberalism in a political sense, not a classical political liberal sense. But they went out, competed in the social networking arena, and defeated us for many years. They did, and I'll give them full credit for that. And about 3 years ago, we sat down as a movement and said, we're going to fix it. And so we systematically looked at YouTube and Facebook and blogs and internet sites. We started something 3 years ago called Right Online. Right Online. And it's training for our activists in how to use the internet to extol the virtues of our ideas and movement. It's called Right Online. It's on the net, rightonline.com. We do conferences all around the United States. And I don't mean necessarily just in the big cities. We go into small towns and we have a Right Online conference. And we take an entire day and we train our people on everything. Some people are just starting out. They don't know how to start a Facebook account. I mean, it's something very simple and easy. We should not assume all of our people know how to do that. How to start a Twitter account. Some people want to be more advanced. They want to do blogging that lets them on a consistent basis find folks who are interested in hearing their views. So we teach blogging. We take 2 or 3 hours. Some people want to design their own websites. I mean, really get sophisticated and deeply enmeshed in this. We do more advanced training for people who literally want to do that. And so it's a systematic effort to do a better job online and in the internet sphere. It's Right Online Conference. Our next one, we just finished one in Sacramento, California, 2 weeks ago. I was there. We had about 150 grassroots activists there. The biggest one will be in July in Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll be July 23rd, 24th. We will literally have 2,000 activists from around the country come to Las Vegas in July. I don't know how this translates because Celsius I'm not good at. It'll be the dead of summer. It'll be 150 degrees. We'll be melting, but we'll be there training 2,000 new activists in how to become better online freedom fighters. And so it was a very purposeful, not by accident approach that we've taken to that in training.
Takk. Neste spørsmål kommer fra Ketil Solvik-Olsen, deretter Karin Woldseth.
Mr. Phillips, it's been delightful to listen to you and a great inspiration for our movement. You're rallying traditional conservative values, and thus, as you also have mentioned, you're automatically linked to the Republican Party in many ways. Is that something you're comfortable with, or are you actively trying to reach out also to Democratic voters? Or are you looking at the Republican Party as a factor or a base of power for you to actually also reach your goals, and thus don't focus too much on the Democratic Party because you can get more influence if you focus on the right side of the Republican Party? Also, the Christian coalition, or the religious right, was a driving force as a grassroots movement in the United States, especially in the 90s.
Right.
Some people will say that they've lost momentum, especially now under Obama. Are you picking up the same grassroots people, or do you have a wider or a different audience complementing the religious right?
Two good
Thank
questions. Okay. Two good questions. The outreach, we at Americans for Prosperity, we seek to put forward our free market ideas and ideals and plans and appeal to Americans. And by Americans, we mean every citizen, Democrat, Republican. The fastest growing party, if you will, in the United States is non-aligned. It's independent. Folks who are choosing, at least in the United States, neither of the two dominant parties right now, because there has been dissatisfaction with both parties. But we very much seek to reach out to both parties. Now, look, the media will say, oh, you're a front group for Republicans, et cetera. And that's just simply an untruthful attack, if you will. The Republican Party on free market issues is clearly more open to our ideas, no question about that, and they're a natural ally. But again, even good people with the right ideas need to be held accountable. I think all of us need to be held accountable. At Americans for Prosperity, I may be the president, but I have a board that holds us accountable, that makes sure we're spending money properly, and that makes sure that we're run in the right fashion. And the Republicans are very much predisposed to be obviously more with us on taxes and limited government and on less spending, but they need to be held accountable as well. And sometimes we've not done that very well. We've been, I think, sometimes perhaps more interested in partisanship, meaning a party, than in a movement. And we're back to focusing on a movement. With regard to the Christian Coalition and to faith-based voters, that faith-based belief system is what brought me to one of the things that really brought me most into politics early on in my career, 20 years ago especially, was faith-oriented issues. I think that in recent years, that movement has remained strong. I think President Obama, if you listen to his rhetoric during the campaign, and this is why and this is just my opinion, but I believe when you look at President Obama's rhetoric during the campaign, it is vastly different than his actions in office.